The Formula 1 1/10 scale tyres used in the Control Series ETS and a lot of club racing now. The ride tyre is, especially the front, is very hard, and the sideboards are very hard indeed, and it's got a very sharp edge as it's got a lot of rubber on it, so you don't get a lot of grip. There's one thing you can do with these is you can put them on a tyre truing lathe and do a bit of work on them. Now this tyre truing lathe is mine. It's at least 35 years old, and what I used to use on my 12 scale when I used to race. It's got a nice big 12-volt motor, nice and powerful. You wouldn't be able to use like a tyre sander or something, it's just not strong enough. So as long as you've got some sort of arbor you can fit the wheel on, you can do some work to rub down the sidewalls and thin out the rubber a bit. Now the rubber is going to be very grippy once you heat it up, so a couple of tools you can use. I use this sintered carbide file, which is very, very rough and coarse, but won't clog up, and it really works well on rubber. When if you want something a bit finer, you can use like this coarse normal file. They tend to clog up a bit and don't bite. And then for smoothing off, I glue on some sandpaper, whatever grade you want, just onto a piece of wood, or you can use these very coarse things that you can fit onto some hand tools, or you can glue it onto this piece of wood. You can get various grades of this. This is a very coarse one. So I'll show the video. You just fit the wheel on and go to work on it, and we'll see how I get on. Rounding the shoulders off to give you a nice smooth edge. It won't dig in any corner, and a nice matte finish on the tyre, taking off any high spots, using the extra high, I can't remember what that part abrasive tool is. I forgot what it's called now.
File.
Yeah, what the finish on it is. It's really beginning to melt on the surface.
Yeah, there it is.
It's got a high spot.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is. It's lovely there.
There's one that was done earlier. I won't focus properly.
But not.
Just back. It's taking those sharp edges off.
Yeah, and all the writing on the edges that were making the sidewalls thicker. So you've got to thin the sidewalls up as much as possible.
How's this one now?
That one's alright. It feels very sticky
Oh,
and very soft.
It's hot and sticky.
You see it sticking to my fingers.
And those are the fronts. What about the rears?
Well, I need to get onto the rears now, don't we? But I'll leave those rears until next time.
That's using my old tyre truer from 40 years or longer when I used to use on my 12 scale.
It's brilliant.
It's a bit rusty, but obviously still okay. 12-volt motor for extra high power.
That's what you want. You want that shoulder to move, you see, like that. That's what you're trying to generate on the car, so it generates grip.
Yeah, that looks good now. Will it harden up when it
will harden up,
down?
but obviously we'll additive it and then heat it in the tyre warmers at 60.
So that's the standard ride kit.
Front tyres, yeah.
EWS.
Yeah, ETS standard.
Oh, ETS.
Yeah.
Big improvement.
Yeah, we'll test it on track and see what it brings. It's definitely softer. Definitely softer. It's filthy, that car. little man in it.
Front tyres been smoothed off, try and get a bit more performance out of them.